Okay, Genesis 1:29, please. Genesis 1:29. Now we got last week, most of what we did was about the God making man, how he made man out of the dust of the earth. And verse 27, God created man in his own image, in the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. Which is interesting because you see God continually altering his creation, or adding to his creation. And that's important to note because if you look at life now, physical life, it's pretty, when you get to about 30, you've pretty well done everything there is to do. Yeah. I mean, if you're a normal person, not a fruitcake like me, but if you're a normal person, you've been born, you've been raised, you learn right and wrong, you learn good and evil, you've gone to school, you've got education, you've met someone, and you've eventually fallen in love, had your heart broken, found someone, you got married, you've had some kids, and then you're repeating the process. There's not much to life actually, and then you die. Yeah. Right? There isn't. And you stop and think, is this all you made it for? I mean, really, haven't you all gotten to that point where you said, is this it? Is this all there is? I remember we used to go partying, and I've talked to lots of lost people who go partying to clubs and stuff, and they say they do all the drugs and do all the sex, booze and rock and roll and all the rest of it, and they just do it to the max, and they'd say, is this it? Is this all there is? Yeah. And everyone says, well, you're so rich. Yeah, so? Well, you've got every woman you want. Yeah, so? You've got all the drugs you want. Yeah, so? You've got all the house you want. Yeah, so? They say, is this it? The point is, God was forced to stop adding to his creation. See? He was tweaking the creation. Who knows what he was going to tweak next? Right? But he was forced to stop because Adam and Eve went and ate the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. Look at verse 29. And God said, 129, I have given you every herb bearing seed. Now, Adam's the only one made at the moment. 129, everyone got 129? Yep. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth.
Oh, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in thee, which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. Wow.
Okay, so meat in the Bible doesn't just mean red animal flesh, it means anything you eat. Nutrition. Meat. Take the M away, and what's the word?
Eat.
Eat. It's meat. So here, meat is vegetable fruit. So in before the fall and before the flood, men were vegetarians. Sorry.
Yes.
And that is the way God designed us. That's why we've got chompers that are designed to eat vegetables. They're flat. Sorry. Whereas now we're starting to develop these, right? The spiky ones, sure, because we've been eating meat for so long. The fangs, yeah. And I've seen some people who really could be vampires. They've got big fangs.
They have.
But the vast majority of people, we have chompers that are designed for vegetarian. Yeah. Right? That's flat chompers. If you look at a lamb, it has flat chompers to eat the grass. Yeah. Right? But you look at a lion, it has pointy ones to eat the flesh. Yeah. But the lions originally had flat chompers to eat the grass. Isn't that interesting? Wow. Right? So, and we're going to get into how that happened, which is really freaky, but that's how it all starts. So everything's a vegetarian. Now it says, look at what it says. It says, verse 30, to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, that's insects, wherein there is life, because they've got blood, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. So insects, animals, birds, and man all ate vegetables. Right? So there was no killing. So imagine the insects. Flies don't get eaten by spiders. Wasps don't zap the caterpillars and eat them. None of that. Or lions don't eat lambs, blah, 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 all of it. And man didn't eat vegetation. Now, it's a bit of a gimme here because from what the scientists say, and you can go online, seriously, look up the pre-flood world and there is documentary after documentary of the stuff they've discovered. But as I said one time before, the fruit that they've got, they've analysed it. And the fruit of the average tree, and every tree had fruit. Like most trees don't have fruit here that you can eat, but every tree has fruit. There's only about a couple of dozen that you'd really eat, or maybe 50 if you look, maybe 100 if you went around the world. But there used to be thousands of different types of fruit. Imagine being able to eat pine tree fruit, and it be just as good as eating a full meal. All the nutrients for living was in that. Everything good for you. Just one.
That's why you live for
hundreds
of years.
Yeah, you're eating perfect food.
Yeah.
See, because when God makes food, He makes it
Food
good.
is killing us now.
Yeah, it is. So when you get to heaven and you sit down at the marriage supper of the Lamb, and God presents you with food, that's the first time you're going to actually eat food that was designed for your new body to make you enjoy and wow.
Yeah.
So I imagine the best. Have you ever sat down? Oh, we had this. We went to that place with Mum, Marianne and Caitlin went to this place that served fish.
Dated?
Yeah, the first place we went to when we dated. It was recommended to me, and then we went in a wedding celebration.
No,
And
7 Hills RSL.
awesome. No, there's a special place that does fish, does seafood, and the meals were so good. She doesn't like seafood, but she loved that.
I'm okay with some.
But anyway, the taste was just like, oh my goodness, to die for, you know.
Yeah.
And it was like, they're not big meals, but they're so expensive, $200 or $300.
It's $200.
That's degustation.
Yeah. But it was worth it. It was such a taste, wasn't it? It was just awesome.
They have one in numbers.
Will you imagine what God's going to do at the marriage supper of the Lamb? You're going to sit down and God's going to say, well, you thought that was good, Russ. Have a taste of this.
Wow.
You know, it's going to be awesome. So that's how it was then. Those trees were made for Adam. And imagine the smells wafting. Have you ever gone past a hot bread shop when it's cooking?
Yeah.
Early in the morning? I put on 20 kilos just going past the, you know. And, you know. And on the other hand, have you gone past burning trash? Have you gone past burning trash?
Yeah, the plastic. It's really...
Okay, so how do we get to that? I have no idea. But anyway, so everything was a vegetarian, including the insects, which really is interesting, which tells you how things are right now is not how God designed it. So when you see a video of a lion racing after a gazelle on the plains of Africa and jumping on its back and ripping its neck out, and then that wasn't God's plan. Right? I'm not going to go through how they got there, but that was not. His plan was for life, peace, joy, and happiness. That was his ultimate plan, and that's where you're going to end up one day.
So
You're going to,
who stuffed it?
well, man did.
Oh,
Well,
sure,
man did big
Adam
time.
and Eve
The animals
fighting
will
the
be there.
sin. But
That's the
still
start
some
of it. There's
days,
more. We're going to get into the more of it.
to
soon.
this day, there's some people that can pat a lion.
Yes, and
can
lions,
catch a
if they
leopard.
don't have meat to eat, can actually eat vegetation. Did you know that?
From birth.
Yeah, no, just any time.
Oh,
They'd rather eat meat, but they can actually eat
To
vegetation.
survive.
Yeah, would do that. Now, notice how it says in verse 30,
The tiger ate it.
wherein there is life. Now, the life of the flesh is in the blood. Okay, so that's how that works. If an insect has blood, which they do have blood, it's weird, but they do have blood. Go ahead and squish a cockroach and see some blood.
And
It's gross.
mosquito.
Mosquitoes.
Once they bit you, there is a blood.
That's our blood, yeah.
That's our blood.
But actually, a lot of them have a white blood, some
Yeah.
kind of white blood. But that's what gives them life, because the life is in the flesh is the life thereof. Now this is the future too. Hold your place there. Turn to Isaiah 11:6. Just so you know, this is how it's going to be in the future, in the millennium reign of Christ, when Jesus comes back and takes over.
The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf, and the young lion, and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them.
Keep going.
And the cow and the bear shall feed their young ones, shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox.
Keep going.
And the suckling child shall play on the hole and the asps, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den.
Keep going.
Then they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord, as the water covered the sea.
Okay. So there you go. You've got cows lying down with bears.
That's
You've
supposed to
got
be our
lions with
pets.
lambs. You've got a lion eating straw like an ox. You've got a suckling child playing with an
Cobras.
asp hole. I mean, honestly, there's a snake in there. Oh, look, there's a snake, and the snake doesn't bite him.
Yeah.
You know, it can't bite him. Or with an asp. I mean, those things, a cockatrice, they're just deadly. And a wolf shall dwell with the lamb. So that's what it's a
And as the waters cover the sea, what's that mean?
The type of.
Oh, okay. Knowledge of the Lord shall
Type of.
for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Well, the knowledge of the Lord is God is love, joy, peace,
Yeah, it's good.
He's happiness. So he'll the knowledge will fill the world and the world will change. It just changes. When you know more about God, you change. And haven't you noticed that? The more you learn about God, you become more like Him.
Yeah.
Well, the world's going to know so much about God because He's sitting in the throne in Jerusalem
Yeah.
for 1,000 years, reigning, Jesus. And you're going to see how He reigns and how He behaves and all the rest of it. Okay, so I'll show you that verse later on. So you can. We're going through some pretty good stuff actually in our Bible study, aren't we, Caitlin?
Yeah. Wait, what?
You
mean
can
the
help me-
numbers
You're going to help
thing?
me with my
Balak?
regulations.
Balak and Balaam. Oh, that's
Okay,
so cool.
he's still not going to tell me what happens. He says they go to hell, and now he's not telling me.
We're going to get there.
But it's taking forever.
It was like 2 days forever, yeah.
Yeah, it is forever.
Oh, 2 days.
Like 40 verses.
Yeah,
in
I got to
that.
know now, yes. Okay, verse 31. And God, Genesis 1:31. And God saw everything that He had made. Genesis 1:31. And behold, it was very good.
Very good.
And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Now, everything He had made, He's not referring to things He'd made before. He's referring to things He'd made recreation. So, where the fallen angels are in the deeps, and He doesn't call that good in verse, whatever that is, verse 8. Look at verse 8. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and morning were the was that second day? Was the first day? Second day. He doesn't call that good. Why? Because the previously created fallen angels, who were created perfect angels but rebelled, are in the deeps, in that. So He doesn't call that good. But everything He had made, He calls very good.
Yeah.
Since that. See how it works? Because they were made before. See, that's how that works. Just so you understand. Okay, very good. Now, what was I going to read to you? God says creation is very good, but He will sing with joy over a redeemed soul. Turn to Zephaniah 3:17. This is your future, by the way. Zephaniah. Okay, you got to look it up. Z-E-P-H, Zephaniah. Okay, read it out, Caitlin.
17?
3:17.
The Lord thy God.
The Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save thee, will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in His love. He will joy over thee with singing. I gathered them.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. He will joy over thee with singing. Have you ever sung for joy?
Yes.
I have. I got so excited.
At
Church,
Yeah.
but other things too. Have you ever sung for joy?
Yes.
Yay, you know.
Yeah, it was a pretty good day today. I was doing it.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
One day God's going to, when you finally get to heaven and your feet are on the streets of gold and everything's happened and it's all over and you're standing in front of Him, the devil's taken care of, there's a new heaven, a new earth, He's going to look at the redeemed, you guys, and He'll say, yes, how do you start singing, oh, I'm redeemed, I'm here, oh, yeah, it's finally here. He's going to be happy about you being there.
Yeah.
Go figure that out. And He's going to sing for joy. And you're going to look at Him and say, why is He happy about me? And He's going to say, you're here. I can just imagine. When Mary Ann died, and I said, you take Jesus' hand, and bang, she took, and I was just imagine how it was. Mary Ann, you're here at last. Let me show you some stuff. And she's like, I can imagine. Oh, this is wonderful. Jesus, Jesus. That's how it's going to be for you. He's going to sing over you with joy. Man, He loves you guys.
Yeah.
You got to get that.
Yeah.
Just like you are. Wretched, wicked sinners. He doesn't even see the sin. He's going to sing over you. Man, that's exciting.
Wow.
I was all excited when I had my little Caitlin. Look at my Caitlin. I never sang over her, but
Yeah,
oh
she
wow,
was
look
so
at this.
quiet.
You know, He's going to sing over you. He's going to get so excited. He's going to rejoice over you with singing. Man, you ought to dwell on that for the next 20 years.
So what kind of singing is this going to be? Is it
Yeah.
gonna be jazz or?
Yeah.
Orchestra.
I have no idea, but I bet it's going to be good.
Orchestra for free.
I bet it's going to be good. And I bet you that, oh no, I bet you that'll be one of those life-changing, eternity-changing events. That when it's happened, you're just forever different.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's not like everything else isn't going to change you completely too, but wow, He sang over me. Wow. Anyway, okay, so back to Genesis 1. Okay, Genesis 2:1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. On the seventh day, God ended His work which He had made, and He rested on the seventh day from all His work which He made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it He rested from all His work which God created and made. So now, He was refreshed. What that means is He was refreshed. It wasn't that He had to stop because He was exhausted. God cannot be exhausted. In Exodus 31:17, don't turn there, I'll just read it to you, because it's just to show you what that means. It is a sign between me, the Sabbath, and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed. See, but he wasn't exhausted. He was just, I finished it. Oh, it's great. Having a look around, and you know, when I finish a house or something or a deck, I walk around and look at that. That looks good, and that looks good. Oh, I'm going to fix that. Oh, that looks, you know. That's what he was doing. He was rested and was refreshed. Now, notice he gave it. It's a sign between the Sabbath is a sign between me, God, and the children of Israel. The Sabbath was not meant for us. It was meant for the children of Israel. See? Should we turn there? Turn to Exodus chapter. You need to see it. I guess you need to see this. Because you've got the entire Seventh-day Adventists who will tell you that if you don't keep the Sabbath, you're going to hell. Literally, that's what they teach.
Yeah.
Worshipping on a Sunday, that's the mark of the beast. That's what they call the mark of the beast. I mean, these people get really screwed up. They've got a lot of good things. They actually preach the gospel, but they tell you, if you don't keep the Sabbath, you're going to hell, baby. Oh, dear.
What chapter?
Exodus chapter 31, verse 17. The Seventh-day Adventists invent a whole system on...
It's meant for the Israelites, was it?
Yeah, it is what it says.
So you're saying I can work on Sundays then?
You can. Yeah, I
But
work on
there's
Sunday.
no,
Got to
there's
keep
no
a day off.
consequences.
Not from God.
You don't
Right.
have to, but
Now,
It
there
says
are
on
consequences on your body, because I'm going to show you that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Because he rested because that's what he designed you for.
yeah.
So you're built, as a human being, you're built in that 6 days, right? And even after. But the principles, the principle is you work 6 days and you rest 1 day. If you don't rest that 1 day, I remember I was doing the Olympic site for the Olympics back when it happened. And we were working 31, 17 and 18.
31.
And we were working literally 7 days a week because they were just terribly rushed for it. And I needed the money. First thing is, I remember I'd drive out of work after it's finished and I'd look around and there'd be no cars on the road. I'd think, it's a Sunday. No cars on the road, must be Sunday, you know. And I got so dizzy, I did not know what day it was after a month. I had no idea. It was just another work day. What does it matter, you know? If there's no cars on the road, it's a Sunday. Or Saturday, there's more cars on the road, it's a Saturday. You know, number two is, your body is not designed for that. So if you do that, yes you can, and God has no consequences for you. There's no command for that. But your body will make you suffer for it, eventually. For example, in World War II, they would run everything 100 miles an hour all the time.
Yeah.
But they found out that machines literally broke down, horses dropped dead, literally because they needed a day of rest.
Yeah.
Even machines need to sit idle for a bit.
Yeah.
They just do. It's a weird thing. You can look it up. There's tons of stuff on this. And that we are designed for a day's rest. But have a look. Exodus 3:31-17.
It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed.
So it's a sign between God and the children of Israel. Not you. Are you a child of Israel? No. Under the Old Testament? And all that was ended anyway when Jesus was crucified. Ezekiel 20. Did you have Jackie point? You got it, Jackie?
Yeah.
Why does
And
he
the
say,
20,
Ross, can I ask a question?
Yeah, what?
Why does he say forever?
Forever. Because Israel is going to be in the new heaven and earth. And how it works, and I'll just tell you now, is you've got Israel on the earth and 12 tribes. Right? Israel is the principal human race, the master race, as it were. Tell that to the Arabs, they're going to go nuts. And we're in the New Jerusalem, which is in Jerusalem, in a cube-shaped New Jerusalem, which is the size of half the planet. And God is in the middle of that. And it's probably not cube, but on edge. So it's circling like two pyramids on top of each other, like that, possibly. And we're in the middle of that. God's in the middle of that. That's transparent gold, so everyone can see God. And when they come, there's the human Jerusalem, and then the New Jerusalem above it. That's the latest, the best I've gotten out of this. But New Jerusalem is there on earth, right? And then you've got the 12 tribes, and then you've got the Gentiles, who are everyone else who's not a Jew, right? And they are put into 12 tribes who follow the 12 signs of the zodiac, or the Mazzaroth, right? And then they inhabit the stars. right? But they all go through the 12 tribes. See, that's how it works. So that's why Israel has always forever going to have a Sabbath, because they're always going to forever be there. Whereas if he just said to the Amorites, you're always going to have a Sabbath forever, well, they don't exist anymore, so that wouldn't have worked. Or if you just said it to the Angles or the Saxons or something, they don't exist anymore, so it wouldn't work. But the Jews, you can say that to, because they're going to be a nation forever. So, does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Everyone, Ezekiel 20:20.
But you already went.
Yeah, it's not. It's
What?
your turn, I think. Yeah.
And hallow my Sabbath, and they shall be a sign between me and you, that ye may know that I am the Lord your God.
So the reason God gave it to the Jews is so they can know. It's a sign to them to know that the Lord is their God, not the nations. So all the nations around Israel in this time would not do the Sabbath, but if they came into Israel, oh, they're having a seventh day of rest. Now, if you go to Israel now, some of them will follow the Sabbath, and they go nuts. I mean, seriously, the Sabbath in Israel is quite something. I mean, you can't do any manual labour. They actually have to cook the food for the Sabbath day the day before. They actually have to cook. You're not allowed to cook. You are not. A guy was stoned to death for picking up sticks to put in the fire.
That was a bit
Extreme, but I mean,
savage.
but I mean, that's to show you just how vicious it is.
At night, when it hits 12 o'clock, whatever the times are, does that mean that the Sabbath will start?
Yeah, it starts from 6 in the afternoon to 6 in the afternoon.
Oh,
Friday at 6 to Saturday at
So
6.
they still do that?
Yes, they do. Look, they're so nuts about it. This is gross, but they will actually take toilet paper and break it off and put it in piles for you, so you don't have to do the work of breaking the toilet paper. I'm serious. That's how mad they go on. But they do it. I was there. I was there, baby. I was there.
Do they still stone you to death if you do that?
No, you're not allowed to. But they will get nasty. You should see the Jews, the religious Jews. Oh, they won't talk to you. You're just Gentile scum to them. I remember we got on a bus once because Mary Ann and I were there on our world trip, and I was going to sit beside one. I said, "Is this seat taken?" And he just like I hadn't even spoken, and I didn't exist. It was just. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the Sabbath. Now, the thing about it is it's 6 o'clock Friday to 6 o'clock Saturday in Israel, not here. So when they have their Sabbath on a Saturday, they've actually got it all wrong, because they're going to start at 12 till 12 on a Saturday here, which actually is wrong. It's actually halfway through Sunday. You've got to get the timing right for the Sabbath to start in Israel. So the Seventh-day Adventists, they go mad about it, but it's good for you to learn that it's not for us. Turn to Romans chapter 13, verse 8. In Romans, you have the 10 Commandments repeated for a Christian. And you'll see, let's see if you guys know the 10 Commandments.
Before Revelation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's before Revelation. Man, everything's before Revelation.
After Acts, isn't it?
oh, that's it? Is it? Oh,
What book isn't before? What book's after
I don't
Revelation?
know.
The full stop?
It's like me.
The glossary?
Go on,
Which
get
one?
right.
The map.
The rest.
There we go. Yeah, Acts.
Acts.
Yeah, and then Rome.
I normally
Okay.
owe no man anything but to love one another, for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law.
Keep going.
For this thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet, and if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbour as thyself.
What commandment wasn't stated?
On the mother, father.
No, no.
Love the Lord thy God.
No, that's in there, because it's thou shalt love thy neighbour as thyself. That's
One of
all in
my
there.
father and mother.
Obey the
The,
Sabbath.
the Sabbath is not in there.
Yeah.
No false image, a false.
Yeah, there's that too.
Oh, no, yeah, true.
But the point I'm making is the one he doesn't name is the Sabbath. You are not commanded to keep the Sabbath.
Yeah.
In fact, you're expressly told not to keep holy days. Colossians chapter 2, verse 16 and 17.
What happens if we like obeying the Sabbath? Is that bad? Is that bad as well?
I like having a rest.
Yeah, okay,
Don't
so-
be religious about it. Don't think you're impressing God. It doesn't mean a thing to God.
Oh,
You
right.
can have a rest.
Why is it-
Go ahead and have a rest.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
don't say, oh, this is because it's God's will for us, and if you don't do it, you're going to hell. No, no. Just I enjoy having a rest. Yeah, my body needs a rest. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
But it's not a spiritual thing.
Remember the hand washing thing where they got really like, or the, if you
Oh
had
yeah, there's another thing. When we were in Israel, they did that. They were sitting down, and the guy got up, and he went and washed his hands 10 times.
Wow.
Colossians.
Is it ask?
10 times. 10 times. Before he ate. Just seriously. Just a little
I'm
bit.
in
What are they
Corinthians.
doing
That's
COVID?
right.
Yeah, COVID 100 times. Yeah.
2:16.
2:16. Everyone there?
No.
Okay, let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of any holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ.
So no man judges you in respect of the Sabbath days or holy days or any of that rubbish. Right? It's got nothing to do with you. You are saved by grace through faith. You worship God in spirit and in truth. Now, let me tell you, you get in church and you start singing praises and put your hand up and just love on God. He has got much more respect for you than some clown running around saying, "Oh, I keep the Sabbath, I'm holy." Yeah. Makes him want to vomit. Because he doesn't care about religion, he cares about real worship. Saying, "I love you, Abba Father, I love you." Man, he loves that stuff. Well, you're going to jump and rejoice over you were singing, so that's the kind of thing he wants in return, you know.
Yeah.
But that's a key verse. If you want to memorise a verse, memorise that verse, you know. Let no man therefore judge you in meat, so whatever you eat, or in drink, whatever you drink, or in respect of a holy day. Oh, it's St. Patrick's Day. Who gives a rat's? Or of the new moon. Oh, it's the new moon. Yeah. Oh, it's a new moon. Oh, it's a new moon. Because people would worship that. Or of Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come. But the body is of Christ. So, what's the Sabbath a picture of? Okay, it's a picture of the 6,000 years. And the seventh thing, I'll show you this one. I think I showed you this one before, but I'll show it to you. Look over here, because I had to put it over here because we just don't have room. Okay, what's the Sabbath a picture of? A week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. Right? There's 7 days, right? 6 days you work, and on the 7th you rest. Work.
Yeah.
Rest. Right? Okay. God created the world. We are here. 6,000 years ago, 4004 BC, right? We are in 2022, right? Very soon he comes back in the rapture, and in the second coming, the Armageddon, and all that stuff. And then Jesus comes and establishes his eternal kingdom on earth for 1,000 years as the Mellenium reign of Christ. And the earth is at rest, is supposedly the throne of God. But anyway, I'll put some stars. Here we go. Okay. So for 1,000 years he rests. So it's a shadow. It's a shadow. The work week is a shadow of what God's going to do in time. You've got eternity past. You've got eternity future. You've got the great white throne judgment here. Right? Where God determines the eternal destiny of every living or having lived being in all that period of time. Right? Nothing gets past there that God doesn't judge their life and say, yes, you're saved, you're lost, you go in the lake of fire, or you come into eternity with me in heaven and the new heaven and new earth and all that stuff. There would have been something back here where they made a choice. You can say the same thing. There's a point here where the devil and his crowd made a choice, and the Lord and his crowd, his angels and all the rest of it, made a choice, which we are not privy to, which is because none of our business, but they obviously made a choice because when they started making man, there was already a devil, there was already fallen angels, there was already demon spirits. So they've made a choice, and there were already holy angels and the throne and all that stuff. Like heaven was already running, so that choice had been made. And then we get 7,000 years, and once 7,000 years is up, that's it.
So the battle was already going on in the heavens, and then it penetrated down here. Is that it?
Yeah, because they had no, and you're going to find out, the devil had no grounds down here because authority was given to Adam, remember? God said to Adam, you have authority over this, the land, the sea and the air, but that's it, and everything in it. So how did the devil get through it? Through a snake. He couldn't personally appear, not till now, but he couldn't personally, so he comes through a snake and tempts him, see? All very mysterious. You'll find the truth is way more crazier than fiction. The weirdest movie you've ever seen, done raised by wolves or something, doesn't even match reality. Reality is way stranger. I mean, just look at what the cherubs look like. I mean, they're just so strange. 4 faces on one head. I mean, seriously. Could you ask for a stranger creature? You're looking at it thinking, which eyes do I look at? You know, and then he goes on this. Is he looking at me or is he looking over there? Oh, he's doing both. Oh, and then he's got. Oh, and then you see there's a wheel beside him that's part of him with another wheel inside of it. Oh, and it's full of eyes.
Yeah.
It's full of cricket eyes. I mean.
So much for privacy.
Yeah.
So which eye? Oh, is that eye looking at me? Oh no, that one is. Oh, that one is. Oh, and then he's gone at the speed of light. Back at the speed of light.
And they moving linear.
Linear, yeah, go straight ahead.
Yeah.
But then the eyes are there, so which is straight ahead?
That's why they
To
got
which
4
face?
faces, because they don't turn their head. They just move in
Yeah, you say you two-faced, aren't you?
You
I
think
mean,
it's
you
strange.
four-faced.
And you think you've seen strange movies, you've seen nothing.
Yeah.
And these are good creatures. These aren't bad creatures, these are good creatures.
Wow.
And that's a good thing.
These are on our side.
You're full of life.
And Genesis 2, we got to chapter 2, that's great.
Woohoo!
Woohoo, yes. Okay, so 10 commandments for a Christian are only the 10 commandments that actually, you know, don't commit adultery, kill, steal, lie, covet, love thy neighbour as thyself.
Eight and a half.
Other verses which we won't turn to, Nehemiah 9:14 says the Sabbath is to Israel, it isn't to us. Okay, so anyway, look at Genesis 2:4. Now I wanted to point this out to you. Have you ever wondered, how did we get the book of Genesis? Obviously God saw what was happening, but how did we get it? Well, it came down to us in these, it would seem, in these round cylindrical cuneiform tablets. They were probably made of gold or stone, and every one of them ends, the first writer was God, ends with this kind of statement. Look at Genesis 2:4. These are the generations of the heaven and the earth. When it says that, it's telling you that's the end of that circular cuneiform. These are the generations. Now, God stops writing, Adam starts writing. And Adam's ends in Genesis 5:1. Have a look at Genesis 5:1. Genesis 5:1.
Adam starts in Genesis 2:5.
Yep, he starts recording it. Because you'll see the change. If you read it, you'll see there's a change in I say character, you know, when a person writes a book, his personality influence, style, that's the word, yeah, style.
Is
See,
it word?
eh?
Genre.
No, style.
Style?
So you've got God's style, which is, every word is so perfect, but then you've got Adam's style, Genesis 5:1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. So he stops writing, and who picks it up? Noah starts writing. In the day that God created man, and now Noah starts writing. And Noah can write verse 3, and Adam lived 130 years and begat a all the days of Adam and begat Seth was 800 years and begat sons and daughters. All the days of Adam, verse 5, lived were 930 years and he died. Well, Noah can write that because Noah lived on. See, so Noah's writing this, and he writes all the way to chapter 6, verse 9. And what have we got? We've got these, everyone there? These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect, blah, blah, blah. So that's where it ended. Now someone writes about Noah, one of his 3 sons. It's Noah's 3 sons. Noah, we get 3 sons, Shem, Ham and Japheth. They're writing. Then we get to the end of their writing. Have a look at chapter 10, verse 1, and Shem himself picks it up. 10 verse 1. Shem, which is one of the 3 sons of Noah. Shem, Ham and Japheth. So now look at 10:1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah. Shem, Ham and Japheth. See?
Where does Noah start? Right?
Noah started, I've got them here, you can get them off here. 5:1 is Noah. So you've got Noah's sons to 10:1. Then you've got Shem, and then you've got Terah. Verse 11. 10:11 to 11:27. Terah's writing it. Terah's the father of Abraham. Right, so 11:27, you've got Terah. Look at verse 27, 11:27. Now these are the generations of Terah. See? 11:27.
Yeah, and then Abram.
If you don't listen, it's not going to work.
Is that what that funny little P
because
is?
you kept saying 11 to 27.
11:27. These are the generations of Terah. So that's the end of that cuneiform. See? So Terah writes, says this isn't very big. And then you go to Abraham writing. He writes quite a long one. To chapter 25, verse 19. Have a look at that.
What are those little P's? You know?
So Abraham's writing, the son of Terah.
It's just a
25:19 says these.
way of marking the space.
Isaac, yeah.
Right.
And these are the generations of Isaac. Isaac starts writing. Isaac and Esau. Isaac, and then Jacob. Isaac, Jacob, Isaac, Isaac's writing. Then you've got Jacob, 36:9. Have a look at 36:9.
What was the 29 ones behind?
36:9.
What was the 29 one?
Esau.
These are the generations of Esau. So Esau's writing it.
The one hairy, the hairy arm.
Hairy guy, yep. And then 37:2. He didn't write a big lot, but 37:2. Well, it's got all these generations. Notice that there's all these generations because to a person who's actually their family, like Esau, that's his family. So he's writing down these princes of his princes and all that. So, anyway, so 37:2. You've got these are the generations of Jacob. Jacob himself wrote it. See. And then you've got Joseph. So you see how it works. You see how it works. So you've got, and I've got them here if you want to see them. So you've got Moses, literally 1600 years after the flood. 1600 years after creation. Hang on. No, 2000 years after creation. He has got all these cuneiforms in front of him, and he starts writing the book of Genesis. And he literally just writes them down. Now you notice this because he makes commentaries. 14 verses 2 and 8.
Oh, 14, 2 and 8.
Bring your liquid paper.
2 to 8.
Okay, now look at verse 14, verse 2. It says, "These made war with Bera the king of Sodom, and with Bersha the king of Gomorrah, Sinab the king of Adamah, and Sheba the king of Zeboam, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar." See how he says, which is Zoar? Because he is sitting there in the wilderness, and his mind is, he knows the cities in Israel, that Palestine, and it's currently called Zoar in his time, 2000, right? But here he's reading it from the cuneiform from Abraham, right? This is the ones who made war. And he says, which is Zoar. Look at this, look at verse 8. "And there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Adamah, and the king of Zeboam, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar." Joined battle and da-da-da. See, which is Zoar. See, he wants you to know that. This is all the way through. Look at verse 3. "All these were joined together in the Vale of Siddim, which is the Salt Sea." See? So it used to be, so he's reading the Siddim. But that's what we call the Salt Sea now, which is what we call the Dead Sea now.
Yeah.
See, if I was doing it, which I wouldn't be doing, but we'll put the Dead Sea, because that's what we call it, the Dead Sea. I've lain in it, the salt holds you up. You know, verse 7. "And they returned and came to En-Blur, which is at Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites and also the Amorites that dwelt in Hay." See, which is Kadesh, see? Or verse 15, and there's lots of these things, so I won't go through them all. Look at 15. "And he divided himself against them, he and his servants by night, and smote them, pursued them unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus." See? So now, look, I've got all these. I'm not going to do them, but all the way through you can see him making quotes. So you, as a reader, if you were in his time, you would understand what he's talking about. The trouble is, well, you know what Damascus is.
Yeah.
So now that makes sense. See? So you've got. So when the flood happens, Noah didn't just get on the ark with a bunch of animals. He took these cuneiforms, and he apparently took all sorts of science, because when he gets on, and I'll show you the videos and show you this.
Oh, wonderful.
When he gets on the other side and comes off the ark, he builds his farm, and we still have his farm, and he actually starts mining and makes a, what do you call it, a thing that heats up the metal. Melting thing, yeah.
Wow.
And he makes iron ore, he makes copper and brass and some other things, really advanced stuff that they don't actually start doing for another 1500 years or more, actually I think 2000 years after Noah. But they had the technology then, and we know that because I'm going to show you some of the amazing thing. By the way, before the flood, the technology was the same as now. Oh, it's actually better than now. Yeah. Amazing, isn't it? And I'll show you. Look, it sounds fruitcake to say that, but I will show you. They've dug up stuff that just amazes people. Now, what they do is they dig it up in the coal. When it's in the coal, you know it's been in the trees of the flood because coal is formed by all the trees getting smashed together, and then the high pressure of all the dirt on top and the water and all that, pushing it down for centuries, and it turns into coal. That's just how coal forms. This is chemistry 101 or biology 101 or what do you call it? And when they dig out the coal, they suddenly find, oh look, here's a spring. And they looked at it, and it was so small, and it was made of brass, but it wasn't brass, it was brass and nickel or something, and it's so perfect, and it's super small, smaller than you'd have in a watch. The technology we only had in about the 18th century. Not even that, probably the 19th century. And there it was in the coal, which means it's from before the flood. See, there's that. Then they dig up a battery. Then they dig up a circuit board. Freak you out. Then they dig up all this sort of stuff. And then, but of course, then there's all the stuff I'm going to show you. I'm getting ahead of myself here. See, understand that Adam, when he was first made, had 100% use of his brain.
Wow.
Imagine what he could think and do. Apparently, he had some kind of powers.
Like angelic form.
Well, imagine Adam. Adam named all the animals. He named them. Now, have you ever tried to bring up a name out of nowhere? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Now, we would name something from what we know, but not invent it out of nothing.
Yeah.
Then you've got the people who invented music. Jubal came. He invented music. No, he didn't just write music. He invented music out of nothing. Right? Then there's the other Cain, Tubal Cain and Jubal Cain. He was the first artificer of metal. He figured out to dig this stuff out of the ground and melt it down and then turn it into brass and copper and iron and all that. Not from other people. He invented it. How brilliant are these people? And when you see their creations, you'll see some of them are just like, wow. The road off Greece, for example, and I've run out of time. The road off Greece, for example, from preflood road that goes off Greece, the one that Jacques Cousteau was on that I mentioned last week. Forget about the fact that he heard hell, but the fact he was on this road and they actually said, this is a great road and it's still dead straight. And it's even after the flood.
Wow.
Anyway, and they said, and they dug it up and they analysed it, and it's in better condition than the roads we have today after 20 years.
Yeah.
It's 4,000 years old. They were just brilliant.
I mean, just the pyramids, how they built it.
The pyramids,
so
isn't it?
big.
Can I go another 7 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get all that. So back to Genesis, but that's how Genesis was written. So it came across on these cuneiforms. On the ark, Noah brought his bits on. Then it was passed on from generation to generation. And then finally Moses sat down and put it all together, and you can see his editorial notes.
Yeah.
So that's how it works.
Sorry,
See?
this thing
Does
of
that make sense?
you're talking about cuneiforms?
Yeah.
Cuneiform.
They're round, you just look them up. They're round things
Yeah.
that they embed them. But these would have been made out of stone, because before the flood they made everything out of stone.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. If you're going to live 1,000 years,
Yeah.
right, there's no good building yourself a house out of wood. The house is going to rot around you and fall
Yeah.
apart before you even blink. You know, you're going to live 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So you build it out of stone so it will last. But they didn't just stop there. They make things out of crystal. They grow them. But they wouldn't just grow like, oh, that's pretty. No. They made crystal skulls out of crystal. And they make every little dent and statues out of crystal. They grow it perfectly. I mean, the technology back then was awesome. And it's a different world too, but that's just them. So they've got a bunch of cuneiforms, these little round things. It ends with, this is the generations of, bang, and you know who's finishing, and it means the next one start. And what that would be is they'd have that written, the generations of, say, Noah, and then the start of the next one would have the generations of Noah. So you know that one links to that one. So that word, the generation, would link them. And they'd read that, and it'd be the generations of Shem. And then the next one has the generations of Shem. You know, some will be big, some will be little, you know, whatever. So that's how it works, and he puts it all together. Now let's keep going, because I've got 5 more minutes. Genesis 2:4. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth. We did that, okay? So God's finished writing. Adam starts writing. When they were created, the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. Now notice how there the word day is used in the period of time. So it's the day of the Lord. The day of the Lord is actually, 2,000 years. Okay. The day that he made the heavens and the earth. So it's used in that tense, but doesn't change the fact that God had 7 24-hour days. Verse 5, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. So you can see before it grew. So when he made the plants, he made them as seeds in the ground. But some of them he grew, but he made them as seeds in the ground. So you've got God doing it, bang, there's a plant, there's a tree, and bang, there's a seed for a tree. So he's doing both. That's what he says, before it grew in the ground. Now look at the next verse.
Brother, what
verse 6, 2:6. But there went up a mist from the earth, and it watered the whole face of the ground. So there was no rain. There was a mist. Now, here's how it works. I hope this works. Here's how it works. If you look at this, here's the earth, right? It would seem you've got a an earth barrier of 10 kilometres. This is how they say it works. So the width of the barrier is 10 kilometres. Underneath it is a whole bunch of water. High pressure water. And then you've got the mantle and all the rest of it under there and Helen.
There's a water table. Yeah.
So there's a water table. So what happens is you've got all this pressure, and where there's little holes or whatever, or fissures,
Sprouts.
the mist comes up and it sprouts. Now when the flood happens, a meteorite hits, bang, and it cracks the mantle, and all this water spurts out, and the fountains of the great deep are opened. See? And we can tell where that hits because you can see it hits, there's a place, and it hits, and then the whole thing just cracks. Like 10 kilometres a second. And it all just spurts out. But there's still places where they find big pockets of water. Massive pockets of water. They were talking about one under the Antarctic the other day. They said they found this thing, they can't tell how big it is. It's this massive pocket of water, because there's places where it didn't spurt out, obviously, you know. So that seems to be how it works. And that also works too, because there was one continent, right? We talked about this last week, or the week before, one continent. But now you've got 7, haven't you? 7 continents. So it breaks up, but if you're lubricated on water, you can move the continents around a lot easier than you can right now. Because the continents only move at like several centimetres a year.
Is it safe to say that that water belt table is insulated of the heat of hell?
No, the heat of hell doesn't reach us. Because, well, here's the thing that you don't know, is that hell enlarges itself. Yeah. So it starts off, Cain goes to hell, first guy to go to hell, right, if he went, and there's some evidence he didn't, but if he did, so hell's big enough for him. Then another person goes to hell, so hell enlarges itself, it says, and then it enlarges itself. So now you've got trillions or billions of people in hell, so it's big enough for them, and but the theory is that volcanoes erupt because the Earth's reacting to hell enlarging itself, but I don't know if that's true. I certainly couldn't prove it. It's more like a wise fable, I think. Hey? I don't think so, yeah. I don't think so either. But they say that there's an increase in activity because hell enlarges itself. Who knows? But anyway, so that's the thing. So there's a mist watering everything. Now what that means is there's no clouds, not major clouds. There's no storms. There's no cyclones. There's no big weather patterns or lightning. There's a perfectly happy, peaceful climate that's an even temperature all over the globe. It's exactly the same temperature down in Antarctic as it is in the Sahara. And that's proven because they found fossils of plants and animals that live in normal temperature in Antarctica. They found the same fossils in the Sahara. They found it all over the world. They found the same fossils. Why? Because it was an even, sort of like a hothouse, right? And that was perfect. You didn't have to worry about storms and anything. These floods, they wouldn't have a clue what that is, you know, because the mist went up and it watered the ground, and that was it, perfect. It also means that there weren't massive rivers. There were some, but not massive, or massive seas. The one sea, they calculate, would have been several thousand feet deep at the most. Right, so it's a more level playing field. And the continents, the highest mountain was 16,000 feet, I think they worked out. And I think that's probably a bit high, probably like about 10,000. Verse 7, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and he became a living soul. So we read this last week, but that's the point that we made last week, is that man is different. He's the last thing made, so that he knows he had no part of creation. And he had no part in the big fall that happened before creation. He is a new creature, but he's shoved right smack in the middle of the battle. Right smack. God does it deliberately, because he says to him, you see that tree of knowledge of good and evil? Don't eat it. He threw us right in it. Yeah. Right in the deep end, baby. Which is pretty well how God is. I mean, God wants to train you. And have you noticed that he doesn't just let you have a nice, easy life? No! He has to put you in situations. And if you don't let yourself get in the situations, he'll force you into a situation that you have to grow through. Because he wants you to grow. Yeah. Yes. Okay, we were talking about this last night in our thing, about how... I said to her, you'll have enough trials of your own, honey. You don't have to pray for any more. She goes, I said, no, you're a Christian. You've got to face them. Because that's how it is. So, but yeah, so it's a perfect world, and it's he breathes into his nostrils the breath of life. There's the point. Unlike every other animal, and I would think unlike every angel. He actually leaned down, breathed into his nostrils his breath of life. So inside of us becomes this soul that's eternal. So when the body drops away, you've still got an eternal soul. Whereas a lion, its body drops away, it doesn't have an eternal soul. It has a regular soul and it perishes, or it gets reincarnated as a dachshund or something. If that's true, which I don't know if that's true. But seriously, you have an eternal soul because God breathed in your nostrils the breath of life. And anything that comes out of God is eternal. So when he breathed into us, every one of Adam's offspring has that same breath of life in them. See? That's important to get. Okay, we'll close it. So you want to close us in prayer, Rob?
Thank you, Lord. Your Son Jesus, and another new word tonight. We learned something. Bless everyone here, Lord, and everyone that couldn't make it, Father. Give us a blessed week ahead, and thanks for Russ opening his home for another fellowship. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.